Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. Hey everyone, thanks for being tuned in to KPOV 88.9 FM, your high desert community radio in Bend, Oregon. I hope you are having a good day. This is Stacey Dredd, Galactic Ambassador in the Cosmic Community. That's our astrology program here Tuesdays, usually starting at 4:30, go until 5 p.m. But today, starting a half hour earlier because we have our pledge drive going on, as you know, because you are an avid KPOV listener, I am sure, and you've been hearing all about it, but we are in the middle of our fall pledge drive, and wow, we have started off with a bang. Very much happy here at the station, but needing to continue on receiving phone calls with donations, sending in your donations to 501 Northwest Bond Street, and that's in Bend, Oregon, 97703. Or you can actually, the station is open for business. We have volunteers, we have people here at the station, we have the phone lines open, so you can give us a call at 541-322-0863 and let us know how much you appreciate community radio and how much you appreciate the Cosmic Community. The Cosmic Community is our astrology program here on KPOV, and in it we discuss the planetary and lunar influences, how these energies may be felt and working in our lives, and how we may be able to live within the cycles of the universe to create a more benevolent life for all and to live in harmony with everything that is happening around us. And so thank you so much for tuning in a little bit early today to celebrate our pledge drive and to continue to request abundance and for the station to be taken care of into the future. And for those who have already sent in or applied your pledges, your donations for the fall pledge drive, or even back in the spring pledge drive, thank you so much. Some people only prefer to make one, bigger donation throughout the year. A lot of times we only hear from people one time for their one-time donation, either during the spring or the fall pledge drive. And then we have folks that we'll spread it out across the spring and the fall pledge drive, and we hear from them during both times of the year. And then we also have monthly donors and monthly pledgers. And this is probably the most important way that we can receive donations. We appreciate all of them, but the monthly donations are great because it gives you an idea. Like, we know how much is going to come in each month. And so, if you've never really thought about like doing a monthly pledge or like why we even want people to do that, it's a really great way for a nonprofit radio station, 501c3, like ourselves, to know what we are going to be working with. So however that works for you, I personally like to make a lot of little pledges over the course of the pledge drive. I like to sprinkle in my magic fairy dust all across it. And so everybody's got their own way that they can continue to support KPOV. And if the way that you support KPOV and are able to is just by listening each week, thank you so much. We appreciate you. more than you know. And so, yeah, Stacey Dredd, Galactic Ambassador here in the cosmic community. I just did a real nice introduction for the pledge drive, and we've got folks waiting by the phone. So 541-322-0863. As I kind of get into the week's astrology, I will just watch the action happen. So this week I am coming into you October 18th from the west coast of the United States, Pacific Coast time, and we are starting out really in the fourth quarter moon cycle this week. The 17th, October 17th, marks the fourth quarter of the moon cycle. The moon is in Cancer currently and will be entering into Leo today. And so we start out that fourth quarter cycle. It's the dark a part of the moon. We don't have the moon out bright in the middle of the night as it creeps, around and around its cycle. So this is the dark phase. This is the time when we don't tend to go out at night so much because it's just like so dark out there, right? And so when things are in dark, we can't see as well in these times. And so the dark phases of the moon, you can kind of imagine it as a time when the lights have been turned down and everything's kind of everything is dim, and the fine lines tend to kind of blur out a little bit when the light is low. It's hard to see exact lines and focus in on those exact little details, but the kind of the main blur is out there. So that's kind of like where we start the week, like with the lights kind of low, our eyes kind of squinted, and like not really seeing all the details in the dark part of the moon cycle. But it's a great time to take a step back and maybe give the details a little bit of a rest. Give the hard work a little bit of rest. Take the dark cycle here to complete things. The fourth quarter moon cycle is all about finishing things. It's about closing chapters. It's about ending cycles. And we do this, over and over and over again. This is the moon cycle we're talking about here. 28 and a half days from now, we'll be, back in this same position. And so each month we go through this cycle, and the last part of the moon is all about finishing things up so that when that new moon happens, that we are ready to embrace the new beginnings. We have had some other things in our lives come to completion, and so we are able to have the capacity in our physical space, in our lives, in our emotional space. Things open up so that we can then be ready for that next cycle. So yeah, we start out just really in this kind of finishing phase, and the Leo moon is a fiery one, and we enter the Leo moon today. And we are going to be under the influence of the fiery lioness moon that is Leo throughout the rest of the day today, all of Wednesday and Thursday morning. And this is a fiery time. Leo is all about the heart, and this is about our passions and what we are passionate for and what we feel strongly for, and our home and hearth also represented by Leo. So the most loyal folks are those with Leo energy, really a pack kind of creature, and enjoys that, providing that safe, secure space of which is the home home and the hearth. And so, as you know, here in Bend, we have like a few more days left of some really nice hot energy, hot days with some good sun energy. And then we are supposed to be kind of starting to enter into a little more fall-like weather with some rain and some more chilly temperatures. So it's a perfect time to kind of reset your home and your hearth and feel that super hot sun out there and really take it in. Leo is ruled by the sun and the sun's energy. And so Leo is a hot, fiery one. And, we are, this could be the last, bit of that really hot, fiery sun. So I feel like it's just this Leo moon is just begging us to just get as much time and as much vitamin D as possible out there before we sort of move into some other phases. And we are going to be then moving into the Virgo moon, the 20th, 21st, the morning of the 22nd. And this is a great time to come back into the home and cleanse the home. Make sure that things are in order the way that you like them, that things have been cleaned up, those dusty corners, that you usually like to get kind of cleaned up before you're going to be, kind of stuck in your home all winter per se, to get that space ready to have your presence there and your body there all the time, So thinking about this, next phase, this is going to be a great time, Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning with that Virgo moon to really reach in and, what do we need to cleanse? What do we need to detoxify? What do we need to, this is where we make our bodies and our homes a temple. The Virgo energy is also all about the Virgin. And so you think of kind of clearing your slate, clearing your mind, and coming at things from a more Virgin standpoint. And then on Saturday, the 22nd, we have then the moon going into it's actually void throughout the afternoon for about 7 hours. So when the moon is void, this is a time when it's kind of like not behaving at its best. The moon is like, if you're interested, definitely look it up. I'm still like embracing like what the void moon really is all about. And it's a time before the moon enters into the next sign, but has, technically left the energies of the last one. And for people who like make magic and do ceremony, like they say maybe like don't actually do those kinds of things during a void moon because it's not as strong in there. And then we come into that very strong Libra moon on Saturday the 22nd. And we have a very special event, which is the Sun and Venus connecting in one of their star points. And so right now I'm looking at the chart for, let's see, what do I got? I'm on the 18th, but I want to go to the 22nd. So I'm just going to move my chart ahead a couple of days. I'm on astroseek.com if anyone's curious about looking up the charts or just looking at the energies for the day. It kind of has like some actual descriptions on here too. You can find a ton of information on this website about the influences. So on the 22nd, yes, the Sun and Venus meet up for it's just the Sun-Venus Starpoint. The Sun and Venus never get too far apart from each other, if you've ever noticed. The Sun, Mercury, and Venus tend to move pretty close in with each other around the zodiac, and the Sun and Venus meet up multiple times in what's known as a star point. And so it actually goes around and goes around to 5 different points in the zodiac. And so this one is at the last degree of Libra, We are finishing out Libra season this week with a very, very powerful push of love and expression of love and expressing to people and things and about things and people that and situations that bring you pleasure, that bring you that true joy, that bring you the things that Venus is all about, pleasure and really good feelings. Venus rules Libra. And so this star point is like the last little bit of good, balanced relationship, Libra energy before we move into Scorpio. And so also on Sunday this week, the 23rd, the sun enters Scorpio. And so we move into the next zeitgeist of the times. When the sun moves into the next sign, that's when we move into that next sign's month of time for the year. And so Libra is all about relationship energy. It's all about balance and harmony. And with Libra with Venus in Libra and the sun having a star point this week, it is just a really beautiful week to focus on the pleasures in your life, the things that bring you the most joy and the most happiness. This is like good food, good music. And I shouldn't say good, I should just say your most benevolent foods. Your snuggly blanket. That snuggly blanket is a super Venus thing. Just really decadent meals and music and art are represented by Venus. And so this week is a great time to get out and connect with your community and, get out and focus on those relationships and that airy business before the end of Libra season. So that is really, really beautiful energy leading us to the sun entering Scorpio at the same within 4 hours, 3.5 hours of Venus entering Scorpio on Sunday, October 23rd. And this is also the same day that Saturn is stationing direct. This is happening at 18 degrees of Aquarius, and Saturn is basically at this point traveling extremely, extremely slow. And so Saturn represents our responsibilities, our boundaries. This is like rules, regulations. And when a planet stations either direct or retrograde, it's when it's just sitting, doing nothing. It's just very still. It's ready to actually turn the opposite direction and start moving. So you think of like a cruise ship having to stop and turn around. That doesn't really happen. It's like a big swing, right? And that's kind of what happens with these planets. It's like, so it stopped and then it starts to move in that opposite direction. So, we could definitely feel this week like we're not making any headway in regards to things we feel really responsible for, or like maybe we just know that karmically, which is another thing that Saturn rules, is our karma, that we're going to be entering a new phase. Like we just know that we have these new dreams and these new visions as Saturn is moving through Aquarius, the sign of hopes, dreams, the future plans, technology. And so this week we could really feel this stillness of Saturn, like I thought I was making some headway, and so it's just going to take a while for Saturn to start moving again, and then really start moving into that next phase of Saturn in the final degrees of Aquarius, which should be another interesting time. And I will be with you, and we will be talking all about the movements of Saturn into the future here on the Cosmic Community, because I feel so supported here at KPOV, and I know that you truly value what we bring to you, and truly value your community and nonprofit media. Wow, those words are so important right now. So please step up and support KPOV and nonprofit radio by calling 541-322-0863. Make the seizure lights go off in here, and give your pledge, whatever you can, from 1 penny up to whatever amount that you can. We will accept it all gratefully. So that's about all I'm going to do for the weekly breakdown. That was a lot of information, actually. So I hope you got that. And you can always listen to the archive of this program. It will be on the Cosmic Community page on the kpov.org website. And also, I've been posting these shows on YouTube, so you can follow my Stacey Dredd YouTube channel and listen to this throughout your week, or share it with folks who need to hear it. So I'm gonna take a short little break. I'm going to play a cosmically inspired song, of course, and then going to return with Amy, our wonderful office manager here at KPOV. She is going to be looking at her birth chart with me. This is Stacey Dredd, Galactic Ambassador in the Cosmic Community, back with you for an extra long Cosmic Community today, because it is boom, pledge drive.
Yay!
Yep, we're having a good old time. You hear Amy. She is very bravely stepping into the Cosmic Community here. We're going to look at her birth chart, her natal birth chart here.
Yeah. I've never had my chart read.
Okay, yeah. So let's get into your chart.
I have no idea what to expect from this.
So what we have here are...
and she even printed one out for me to hold and look at.
It's in color, too.
I know.
So you can, make notes and stuff if you need to.
I love that.
So, we have Amy's birth chart here, and... she is... this is her first time looking at it.
I don't know what I'm looking at. This doesn't mean anything to me.
I love that. I love that. So you see, a circle with a bunch of lines going through the middle.
And then like a stairway. No.
Yeah, those are all the different degrees, right? All the tick marks all around the wheel.
Okay.
And so what you're seeing is like the whole year. Basically, this wheel is one year.
And this is the year I was born?
This is a snapshot of what exactly was going on in the planets when you were born.
Oh.
Where the moon was in part of the cycle, where the sun was. And that's where I want to start with you, my dear, because you were talking about how you weren't sure what exactly time you were born in the morning.
Right.
Yeah. And then you texted your mom and she said 4:30 a.m. So we got the time. Mm-hmm. But that was a really crucial piece to this, because let's look at your sun. The sun is the circle with a dot in the middle of it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's actually at 29 degrees of Scorpio.
Oh.
You had, I think, been under the impression that maybe you were a Sagittarius sun.
Right.
But now that you got the exact time of your birth, that is literally 1 day difference.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important to know the time.
Okay. Yeah, because I was always told that I was on the cusp. I'm either a Scorpio or a Sagittarius, and I don't really know.
Yes.
So I'm Scorpio?
Well, on this chart and the sources that and the knowledge that I have and stuff, that's what I am seeing. And I love that, but also look at your Sagittarius part of the chart. The Sagittarius is right down here with all the planets in it, right?
Wow. There's just a cluster of planets right there.
Absolutely. So you have what's called a Sagittarius stellium.
stellium.
A stellium. And
What is a stellium?
It's like just like a bunch of planets all in one location.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just like a flush, basically, all in one. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, you like a flush of cars all in one side.
Wow.
And I mean, that just like makes you super duper Sagittarius influenced.
That's what people always tell me, that I'm a Sagittarius.
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, I would absolutely say that, yeah, your Sagittarius area of your chart is totally lit up. And what does that mean to you? I mean, what have you ever even heard about, like, what a Sagittarius is?
I don't remember.
I know, right? Because it's like a lot of information, and then you try and apply it to yourself and get all confused. And Sagittarius is really the adventure seeker.
Oh,
the adventure seeker.
That makes sense.
Yeah, the one willing and able to step up and go on a journey.
Mm-hmm. And try something new. And
that to me, totally. I mean, I know you, so and also you have some pretty strong Libra energy here.
Oh, really?
So you've got pretty strong Scorpio, a lot of Sag, and then a pretty good amount of Libra. So you're kind of like really focused on this lower part of the chart here, and it's in the first 6 houses, which is like the personal houses. This is like the area that like we live our lives, and get to know ourselves and our own like desires. And then when we get to the top of the 7th through the 12th house, that's like our outward expressions. And so like you have a lot of like kind of internal, like inward energy here.
That's
like,
interesting.
I can see you being somebody who would want to like spend some time by themselves every so often to listen in to what's going on. Because that's just all located down on the bottom side of the chart there. So just a couple of like random things that kind of jump off the page at me. And another thing here is your box down here that says fire, air, earth, water. This gives you the breakdown of like how much of each you are.
No earth?
No earth.
That's
you
so weird.
Totally noticed it right off the bat.
So what does that mean? What does the earth represent?
Earth energy is like, kind of the folks who are like really grounded.
Oh.
Like people that may be like the like Taurus. It's really hard for Taurus people to make a lot of changes. So they tend to like stay in one place because they're just like more comfortable staying there instead of like
I get
going
bored.
out.
I need things to be constantly changing.
And moving around a lot too.
Spontaneity and unpredictability and that kind of stuff.
Well, you have a lot of fire energy and you have a lot of mutable energy.
What does mutable energy mean?
Well, you've got 3 different types. You got cardinal, fixed, and mutable.
Oh.
So cardinal is like the initiator energy. This is like the people who start things really well. They're like the leaders. And, then the fixed energies, as I sort of referenced, those are the harder to move, But think of how important it is for us to be stubborn and fixed on ideas when they truly are things that we believe in.
Your values and stuff.
So that fixed energy. And then mutable is like changeable. Like this is flexible. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, flexible.
Yeah. So you have a lot of that super flexible energy, tons of mutable fire, and lots of air too. Air is like the social energy.
Oh, that
and
makes
you're
sense.
always out and about doing stuff, right? Like, that's great. I just wanted to tell you that I did get a chance to hear a little bit of the interview that you did with James Applewhite-Gilchrist here.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So what inspired that?
Really what inspired it was when we came up with the theme for this pledge drive, Whole Brain Radio. And I thought about James and I thought about his situation and how influential music is on his brain and his life. And it just seemed like an inspiring story. I know he inspires me so much and I just wanted to share that with the community.
That was really special. Like I tuned into the last little bit of it, and it just felt really good, and that was really nice. Thanks for bringing that on, and you're getting more comfortable on the air.
Thanks.
Jeez,
yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's good. It's
Thank
good
you.
to be behind the microphone and see what it's like to be us, right? The DJs.
Right.
Because we are just like you. We are members of the community. We are volunteers giving our time to nonprofit radio. And you can also give today and any day at kpov.org. There's a donate button right there. That is, in my opinion, the easiest way to give
So
pledges.
easy.
Yeah. And keep the phone lines open for people who may not be so savvy on the internet, you know, but super easy to just go fill out the form online and help us out here at the station.
But you can call also. We have the lovely Claire in the front office right now answering phones, and she would be happy to take your call. So if you would like to do it that way, feel free. It's 541-322-0863. You can also stop by the station and come in and say hi, and that's always fun too.
Which is totally new thing since everyone's been opened up after the pandemic.
Yep, we kept our door locked for a very long time. And it's nice to have it open again.
Yeah, it
Let
really
in
is.
some fresh air and smiling faces.
There's like little treats out there that you can eat.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the old times for sure. So we're bringing them back.
Yep.
And no better people to do it than a couple of Sagittarius stellium girls, because you and I are actually born within just a couple weeks of each other.
Yeah.
And so
It's amazing.
all
So do we have the
honesty,
same
in all honesty,
cluster of
we
planets?
have a ton of similar planets. I mean, all the outer moving planets like Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, they don't move very fast. So you tend to have, clusters. And so, both you and I have this like Sagittarius spirit.
Yeah.
And it's also one of the most optimistic energies.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Enthusiastic,
Yep.
but optimistic too.
Yeah. I've always been super optimistic, like to a fault.
I know what you mean about that. But like, I mean,
Where, like to the point where it like
that really our
bothers other
fault?
people.
but they're going, you're the person who's always like just focused on.
Right. You see the best in everyone and the potential in every situation.
It's so awesome. I love that. And you get the confirmation from people who know you too. You said you had some family members or some friend family members tuned in.
Yep.
And it'd be interesting to hear
what they think
little
about.
breakdowns.
Yeah.
So your Sagittarius stellium includes Uranus at 8 degrees, Mercury at 11, and then you've got the South Node in Sagittarius, conjunct Jupiter, and then you have Neptune also there. So that's 5 big energies. And whenever you have the South Node in conjunct with another planet, this just like makes it even bigger. And it just happens to be that the planet that's conjunct there is Jupiter. And so Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system. It has a ton of energy that comes along with it. But most of the time, it is that optimistic, enthusiastic energy that is focused on finding the opportunity in every situation. And, Jupiter also makes things like really big. So, sometimes we can go a little over the top too, because we're like so excited. I feel like that's like what you just said, right?
Yeah.
And then your Mercury is right there. Mercury is our communication, represents our communication and how we interact with people, how our thoughts flow, and so you've got all of that energy really thick. Wow. And I think that it's totally awesome. You can know this and then work with it, right? Because that's why we study astrology.
Yeah.
Like to, know what's going on, have an idea, figure out how to work with it best, right?
Yeah, how to hone in on those skills or...
So how's it going over there as you're receiving some of this information for the first time?
Good. It's really interesting. Good. I mean, it seems like, it seems pretty accurate. I've always been very optimistic. I've always had really good communication skills and listening skills, like being able to understand people that most people don't understand. People who have a harder time communicating, just kind of being able to get through to them.
Yeah, that to me just like really represents that Scorpio energy too, because Scorpio, one of the words for Scorpio is depth. And so like being deep, like Scorpio people are deep. We're not afraid to like get into it.
Right.
Go into the deep, dark depths and see what's there. Again, find the gifts, find the opportunities, find where we can be, somewhere we can lead with that, right? Yeah. So Scorpio energy is very interesting. We are moving into Scorpio season this week. So this would be a really good time for you to, just really explore kind of, we just were in Libra season. Now we're moving into Scorpio and Sagittarius season. So you can really see how the flow of these few months go for you with all of your planets, really lined up in this next to few months, like right?
This is my season.
So when the sun comes through and makes contact with your Pluto, your Saturn, your own sun, that's, your birthday, different interactions come into play. And then, of course, moving through your Sagittarius stellium, that makes December interesting for you. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Really good stuff. I love it. There's, of course, so much more to always explore, but
it's very cool. Yeah. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, you're welcome.
This is awesome.
Thanks for entrusting me with that.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't going to have a stranger do it.
You're like, I don't know. Maybe it'd be better to hear this from somebody I know. But cool. Awesome. Well, Amy, office manager here at KPOV, you're gonna be looking at this chart every time I start my program now. Now you got something to look at.
I know, right? I'm gonna keep this at my desk because that's where I listen to your program.
Yes. Yeah. And that seems like that's kind of how it is for most of my listeners. They like to be like in front of their planner, taking notes for the week, like how the energy is going to play out, when to have those important conversations, when to like just leave the day alone and just retreat, and it's good to know. Just kind of finishing out and the energy of the times, I was mentioning Sunday, October 23rd, as a big day of shifts. Again, by the end of this week, we are going to be, by the time I talk to you again next week, we are going to be under the influence of the new moon, and we are going to officially be into the season of the eclipses. And this is an extremely fated time in our lives. And eclipses are, they happen when the sun and the moon get near the north and the south node in the chart. And getting ready for this energy. The shift really happens on Sunday when we move into Scorpio season. Venus moves in just a few hours before the sun, and in we go to the season of depth, the season of death, the season of transformation. The Scorpio energy is that of the snake that sheds its skin when it no longer is suitable. We need to grow, and sometimes as we grow, we break out of the shells that once were our lives. And I encourage you to not be afraid to go there and to challenge yourself and to go into those deep, dark places and bring out the light. Bring out the light that you only can shine. So thank you so much for spending time today in the cosmic community. Thank you to KPOV for providing me opportunity to bring this information out into our community. I love doing this show, so I really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. You can still donate to KPOV anytime, but our pledge drive does go all the way through until Saturday. And I love that the last day of our pledge drive is on that Sun-Venus Starpoint. Bruce, Sam, Amy, Jillian, the board here, you guys couldn't have picked a better week, a better day for the pledge drive to end on. So I have no doubt that we will reach our $45,000 goal. Thank you for doing your part. And I will be back with you next week in the Cosmic Community, Tuesday at 4:30. Have such a great day.
Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.